Hi everyone, Mr. Short here. So I'm going to be introducing a program called Stellerium. It's an astronomy program, free, and what it allows us to do is to identify all the things you see in the sky at night where you live. So if you've ever stepped outside your door and looked up and seen something that doesn't quite look like a star and thought, hey, maybe that's Jupiter, this program actually allows you to do that, as it tracks very accurately what's happening right now in our skies. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you how some of it works. You'll notice we start off in this green field, but that's not really important. One has to remember this isn't Google Earth. It's a program focused on the sky. So this is more like a placeholder. It's not really part of the program. It just makes it have a nice feel, I guess, like you're standing somewhere out in the open. So without talking too much about this grass here and these trees, let's move on to the more interesting stuff, which is above in the sky. How do we get there and how does it work? You'll notice right now that it's daytime, which, well, makes it very hard to see what's going on. So I'm going to show you how to not only change the time, but your location, because right now you might get put in the wrong place. It might put you in Paris or somewhere else in the world. Of course, if you want to know what they see in their sky, that's great, but if you want to know what's happening in the Cape Town sky, you'll need to do this. So if I move my mouse into these two corners over here, you'll see we get two menus popping up. So if you're wondering how to quit the program, it's here at the very end. This little button here is the quit button. So let's choose a location. You'll see on the left one, we've got location at the top. It looks like a compass. So I click it. And voila, we actually are already in the right place. You'll see the red arrows there in Cape Town. It says over here Cape Town, South Africa. So that's fine. If you're somewhere else in the world, you just need to click down there or type in Cape Town. That's probably the easiest way to do it. So we're already there, but the timing is wrong. So just below the location window, we've got date and time. So we go here, and we can see it's on the correct date. It's on the correct time. It's matching what's happening right now while I'm making this video, but this doesn't work for us. So I'm going to speed the time up by adding a few hours so we can get to nighttime. Aha! There we go. It's now 8 o'clock. If you want to be technical, it's now 20 minutes past 8. Let's see what we've got. So tonight, if we look up, at 20 minutes past 8, we'll see some of these stars. Some of them might be planets, I don't know. Let's take a look. Lots of interesting things, but of course you'll want to first try and spot the things we are more familiar with. Where's Jupiter? Where's Mars? Where's Venus? Where's Saturn? Can we see any of those yet? Let's see. So I'm moving around and I can't see. But here's something interesting. You may have noticed this long trail, what looks like a cloud. Maybe you've actually had a chance to go camping where there's no city lights to get in the way, and you've seen something like this and wondered what that was in space. That's our Milky Way. What you're seeing is the ring of the Milky Way. You can actually see where we live, our galaxy. That's our Milky Way, one of the spirals. Some people on the planet aren't fortunate enough to always have this view at night, depending on Earth's rotation. But South Africa's point of view at night almost always points towards one of the Milky Way's rings. So what you're seeing here is something incredibly massive. This is our galaxy you're seeing, one of the rings. But still no planets, which is no good. So let's move the time forward. Let's go to date and see what do we get if we move to 9 o'clock. Are we seeing any planets yet appearing? No. Are they maybe sleeping and they haven't come out yet to play? Let's fast forward a bit. So I'm going to go 1 hour at a time. Still no planets. Wow, they must be on vacation. Let's keep increasing. Let's go to 2 o'clock. Aha, 1 o'clock. I see something. Jupiter and Saturn have risen. Now this does present an interesting problem. You need to be awake at 20 minutes past 1 if you want to spot Saturn and Jupiter. And oh, there's Mars just below. So it depends on the time of year. Sometimes, depending on the time of year, you can see these planets as the sun goes down. Right now, though, where we are in South Africa, unfortunately, it looks like they appear very late. Let's keep fast forwarding. Oops. Let's go to maybe 6 in the morning, just before the sun comes up. You should still be able to see Mars if you hop out your house at 20 minutes past 6. And interesting, you'll notice there's color grading on these icons, and that's because they do try to mimic the real life colors. So if Mars is showing a slightly brownish orange, you should be able to spot that brownish orange in the night sky. You may have just seen that little shooting star fly by. That shows you just how amazing this program is. It is tracking from stars to our planets to even meteorites hitting our atmosphere. So it's a wonderful program that way. Let's show you some of the prettiest stuff like constellations. And you'll see down here on this menu, we've got a whole bunch of buttons here. And one of them is called Constellation Art. And if I click it, look what we get. This is beautiful. This is all the constellation from the Greek civilization, the ancient Greek civilization. And we all know about them because you often hear folks talking about what's your star sign. Of course, we're not all interested in that, but if you are, this is a great way to see what it really looks like. And you can take the challenge of trying to match them in the sky at night. Obviously, I don't want you to do that at 1 in the morning. So if we reverse time back to a more reasonable time, such as 7 or 8 o'clock, luckily our nights are getting a bit darker, so that does make it a bit easier to see these sooner. You can see there is a lot to see, even at this time. Personally, I've always found it rather challenging to try draw the stars and match them according to these beautiful pictures. But you can give it a shot. And that is Stellerium. Don't forget you can change locations if you want to see what's happening somewhere else in the world. You can turn on more options here to see even more. You can see we've got meteorite showers has been turned on. So if you want to know if there's an upcoming meteor shower in your night sky, in other words, is it a good night to go sit outside and lie down and stare at the sky waiting for some shooting stars? Turn this on and you'll be able to spot them. And then you can grab a seat. If there aren't any showing in your night sky, then yeah, you're probably not going to see any. And we can take a peek at that in a moment. Here you can turn on exoplanets, which is actually the focus of a project. A lot of the middle to higher grades completed recently was the current trend in astronomy. The biggest thing happening is the search for exoplanets. And since we have managed to find a few, you might be able to spot a few. Not actually in your real night sky. There's no way we could see it from here because exoplanets, planets not in our solar system, are impossible to see with our naked eye. But they will show you probably little dots to show where you should be looking if you had like Superman eyes to see them. Another thing I wanted to show you was how to change the constellation art. There are many, many cultures who've come up with their own constellations in the night sky. Let's see if we go sky and viewing options. Star law, as they call it. You can see Western is selected right now, and that's based mainly on, as they say, there it is, ancient Greek astronomy. But look at this, we've got tons of other cultures to look at here, from Egyptian constellations, which is a bit closer to home and more familiar than things like Babylonian. And you can check it out and see what pictures did they form in their sky based on the stars they saw. Okay, last thing I want to do, because I did say I would do it, is let's check out shooting stars. That's obviously the most fun thing to see in the sky. So we've got the button selected here. Let's make sure we're at the right time. Yeah, we're at 7, 8 o'clock. Let's just make this 8. All right, there we go, 8 o'clock. Now you may be wondering, okay, so what do the buttons look like in the sky? How do I look for a... Aha, there we go. So you'll see this is what shooting star icons look like. This is telling us that if we look up at this point, in other words, the W here for west, so you step outside your house, turn west, look slightly up, 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 maybe use this star here, Canopus, and Adhara to help you locate it between these two extra bright ones, or Canopus and Sirius might be better because they're bigger. And in between them, you've got potentially a spot to peek at and watch out for shooting stars. Okay, and you'll see if I click on it, it gives us a whole range of data. Don't ask me what half of this means. But it does give us some things we can maybe figure out, such as the size, the speed, yeah, all sorts of goodies there that we might be able to figure out, and a whole bunch of goodies we wouldn't, unless you're an astrophysicist. If I click on a star, for example, Rigel, we do get things like what system does it sit in, the distance. Here it's telling us it's 862 light years away from us, the LY for distance, light years. If you ever see AU instead of LY, that means it's really close. In other words, it's not far enough away yet to start measuring it in light years. It's too close for that. So we've got a meteor shower happening. Yeah, we've got a meteor shower happening tonight. That's great. Any other ones? I did see a weird green one earlier. Let's just see here. Okay, we're still on the correct date. Let's fast forward to 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, for those of you night owls who will still be up. Okay, there's the same meteor shower, but what you can see is it's actually lowering, so you can actually tell which way the Earth is rotating as this comes down and reaches our horizon. So if you want to get up a little later, you won't have to twist your neck so much to see it. Where did that pretty... Ah, there it is. There's that pretty green looking one. So there's another meteor shower you'll be able to spot if you look slight east, but slightly to the southeast. There is another meteor shower right there, and even easier to see without twisting your neck again. This one's called Scorpids. They've called this meteor shower Scorpids. Okay, so that's Stellerium. Lots of fun. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy playing around with it. Thank you very much, everyone.